My name is Riffi Wacho, aka the Sound Sangoma, and I am a mix engineer / producer based in Johannesburg, South Africa. One of the most important things that a mix engineer needs to be able to do is to be able to trust their ears. You need to be able to listen to something and trust that what your ears are translating to you or relaying to you is accurate enough for you to make the right decisions. So your ears are not biased in any way, either by the coloration of your speakers or the room that you're working in, or one of many other factors that could determine whether or not you're hearing accurately. So one of the most important things that as a mix engineer I pay attention to is obviously the quality of the speakers that I'm listening through. Are the speakers able to recreate the frequencies that are involved in the music that I'm hearing? Are these speakers able to give me that response at a low volume? Do they distort easily? All of those questions are questions that you ask yourself as an engineer, because they influence whether or not you make the right decision when you are mixing. So for example, something may sound a bit too flat and you do not make the necessary EQ changes that you need to. And then when it is played on a different system or speaker, it doesn't translate in the way that you think it would. And generally a good mix should sound good on any device that you play it. So historically, speakers or monitors that are able to represent the frequency spectrum accurately were very well out of reach, very expensive. But as time has gone on and the technology has improved and is more readily available, you can get a decent speaker for a lot less. And so I currently mix on very high-end monitors, but I do reference on a few pairs of maybe not so expensive or not so high-end monitors, just to make sure that my mix will translate well in other environments. The high-end speakers tend to maybe give the illusion of something sounding good because the speaker is actually that good. So it is important to reference on other speakers just to make sure that it translates well. Historically, I've been a big fan of ribbon tweeters because I think that they recreate the top end of your frequency spectrum more accurately than dome tweeters. I've predominantly over the last 7 years mixed on speakers that have ribbon tweeters. Personal preference, but I think that they sound better. I do have a pair of speakers in studio that have a dome tweeter, but primarily I rely on ribbon tweeters for the high-end information. I just think it's a bit more accurate up there. And one other thing that I think is important is obviously the room that you're working in. But your ear it can adjust over time to the room. And you can learn your room and get used to the sound of your room. But it's always good just to have the place treated and make sure that everything sounds good. So if someone were to ask me for one tip as a mix engineer, if you want to be able to recreate or to translate or to make the right decisions, you need a good pair of monitors that you can trust that will recreate the frequency spectrum in as transparent a way as possible, enabling you to make the right decisions.